Hello, and welcome to the channel. In this video, we'll delve into the fascinating story of Joseph, who, despite being sold into slavery by his own brothers and spending years in oblivion, still discovers that it was all part of a greater plan. This is the story of how God called Joseph out of Egypt, not with trumpets in the desert, but through dreams, betrayal, and a faith that withstood all trials. From the grave to the palace, Joseph didn't know that his struggles were stepping stones to saving nations and fulfilling an eternal purpose. And today, this story can reveal how God is also calling you in the midst of your challenges. Come with me on this journey. The story of Joseph begins in the family of Jacob, a man blessed with many children. Among them, one young man stood out, Joseph. He was not just another one of the 12. There was a deep bond of love between him and his father. This love became evident when Jacob gave him a long, richly colored tunic. That garment was not just a gift, but a symbol of distinction, something that aroused the envy of his brothers. This display of favoritism planted bitter seeds in their hearts. Resentment already existed, but now it grew silently, fueled by the difference in treatment. Joseph, still young, didn't fully grasp the hatred that was forming around him. He was the beloved son, but he was also unknowingly becoming a target. But what would truly ignite the hearts of his brothers was yet to come. Dreams from God. In the dreams, they weren't ordinary dreams. They were vivid, symbolic, and full of meaning. In the first dream, Joseph saw sheaves of wheat bowing down before him. In the second, the sun, the moon, and 11 stars prostrated themselves before him. By sharing these dreams, Joseph further aroused the hatred of his brothers. "Do you think you will reign over us?" they said sarcastically. Even Jacob rebuked him, though he kept those words in his heart. The dreams, which were an expression of God's purpose, became the trigger for tragedy. Envy and hatred took shape. Betrayal drew near. Jose was young, sincere, and perhaps naive. He didn't understand that true dreams aren't always celebrated off in their pursuit. It was in this climate of envy and resentment that the perfect opportunity for sin arose. Betrayal and being sold into slavery, Jacob sent Joseph to meet his brothers to get news. An innocent journey towards a cruel fate. Seeing him from afar, the brothers conspired. "Here comes the dreamer." They decided to kill him, but Reuben intervened and suggested throwing him into a well. They tore off his tunic and threw him into the pit. While Joseph cried out for help, they sat down to eat, indifferent to his pain. A caravan of Ishmaelites passed by, and Judah had an idea to sell him as a slave. Joseph was sold for 20 shekels of silver. Then they stained his tunic with blood and deceived Jacob, who wept inconsolably, believing his son was dead. The betrayal didn't just destroy Joseph, it destroyed a father's heart. But what seemed like the end was only the beginning of God's plan. Lokampath, Egypt Potiphar, and the first ascension. Joseph arrived in Egypt as a slave and was bought by Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Even in his suffering, God was with Joseph. Everything he did prospered. His faithfulness led him to become the manager of Potiphar's household. But temptation arose. Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him. Joseph resisted, saying, "How could I commit such a wicked act against God?" He fled, leaving his cloak behind. She falsely accused him. Potiphar, enraged, threw Joseph into prison. Joseph's faithfulness led him from home to prison. But God was not finished yet. Prison, dreams, and forgetting in prison, God remained with Joseph. He gained the jailer's trust and cared for the other prisoners. There, he interpreted the dreams of Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker. Everything was fulfilled exactly as God had revealed. Joseph asked only one thing: "Remember me." But the butler forgot. 2 years have passed. Silence, waiting, ordeal. Man has forgotten, but God never forgets. Pharaoh's dreams and the divine turnaround. Pharaoh had disturbing dreams. No one knew how to interpret them. Then the cupbearer remembered Joseph. He was taken out of prison, shaved, dressed, and brought into the palace. Joseph gave the interpretation and presented a plan. 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, and he declared, "It is not in me. God will provide the answer." The prisoner was about to become governor. The governor of Egypt in the years of plenty. Pharaoh exalted Joseph. He gave him authority, a ring, royal robes, and power over all the land. Joseph managed wisely. He stored grain. He prepared Egypt. She married, had children, and prospered without forgetting God. Plenty would pass, but the purpose would remain. Hunger and the encounter with brothers. Famine struck. Joseph's brothers went to Egypt to get food. They bowed before him. The dream came true. Jose recognized them, but they didn't. The tests began. End of the block. The past was returning, and hearts would be revealed. Tests, regret, and transformation. Simeon was in prison. Benjamin was demanded. Judah offered himself as a slave in place of his brother. Joseph saw a change. He saw repentance. He saw love. It was the moment of truth. I am Joseph. Forgiveness and reconciliation. Hosea revealed his identity. He cried. He forgave. It was God who sent me ahead of you. The family was restored. The past was healed. When God governs history, even pain finds meaning. Jacob, he was reunited with his son. The family settled in Goshen. God fulfilled his promise. The plan was complete. The legacy of Joseph. Joseph lived 110 years. He forgave. He ruled. He believed until the end. God transformed evil into good. Their story teaches us to trust, to wait, and to remain faithful. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it. Until the next video. And remember, God still writes stories of redemption.